Welcome back to the Growing Nutrition Business Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring, where we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. Today, I have Dan Uyemura, hope I said that right, the CEO of Push Press on the podcast. In this episode, we talk about the coronavirus shutdowns and how they are affecting gyms, and really what gym owners can do to be proactive to transition to a virtual platform and really lead their communities. Dan talked about 3 buckets. Most gyms are focusing on the middle bucket and really why we need to focus on all 3. Enjoy this actionable episode. Dan, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you on. To introduce you to everyone, this is Dan Uyemura from Push Press.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Crazy times right now, but glad to be on and hopefully talk some knowledge here with Nicole.
Man, you seriously have been so busy interviewing people for the Facebook group and just putting out so much free content to help gym owners. All of the resources and people that you've interviewed have been incredible. So thank you for all of your hard work, first and foremost. And I'm glad that we could still squeeze this podcast in because it was scheduled prior to all this crazy coronavirus.
Yeah. Like we were talking about earlier, just helping, because I think all of us here came from owning gyms, just helping gym owners is in our DNA, and it's just really important to us. So when something like this comes up, it's just natural for us to scramble and start getting to work at that. I mean, that's what we were trying to do before all this happened anyway. So it was just a natural kind of pivot into a more important message that we were trying to help gym owners understand.
I think so many gym owners right now are just at a loss because we're so used to in-person and community, and being able to figure out how to pivot quickly to be able to completely rely on a virtual platform is crucial for gyms being able to stay alive and get to the other side of this.
Yeah, I mean, these are crazy times, right? And for like a true entrepreneur, like this is kind of exciting to me in some ways because it really can shake out people who can understand how to be nimble and pivot and react to market conditions. And that's really what entrepreneurship is about. But I can understand also, myself included, all of us have been basically swimming with the tide at our back all these years. If you opened your gym or your business after 2008, you basically had nothing but a surging economy behind you. So this could be your first test. And I can understand how this can be really scary if you haven't really thought through other scenarios yet. But silver lining to all that message is there's solutions that you can find. There's ways to get through this, and you better believe, like, if you can get through it and it does shake out some of your competition in the area or weakens them, it's going to be a really good thing for you in the long run. And I don't think people are going to stop needing fitness. In fact, they need it more now than ever.
I think that's a big thing. And to be honest, I think there's a huge opportunity for us. I mean, I mentioned this not on when I was on your podcast, but Orange Theory froze all their memberships and their community has no follow-up. And as a CrossFit affiliate, we control how much we're following up. We control the services that we provide now. And there's a whole community of people that was used to having classes and being told what to do and just having the support behind them that now is kind of left without anything. So I think there's even a bigger opportunity to help people. And you're right. I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs, have you ever taken the Kolbe test? Have you ever taken that test?
You know what? I think I did years ago. KOLBE, right?
Yeah. It measures like 4 different things, and one of them is a quick start. And I was, out of 10, I was a 9 on a quick start. Like, I love new things. Like, I'm all about it. And you're right. For people that love new things, this is kind of exciting because we have a whole new opportunity here, and we're literally forced to jump in headfirst.
Yeah. So, I mean, for if you're a gym owner out there or a fitness studio owner right now, and you're kind of freaking out because of all this, let me kind of lay out the lay of the land and kind of point out where your competitive advantage is. Before all this, I was already kind of preaching this. We're dealing in an industry where there's a bunch of Goliaths, really, like the F45s and the Orange Theories and those guys, and there's a lot of them coming up. Even these franchises that are backed by a lot of money. Those guys have a really rigid process that they follow, and the competitive advantage you guys have is you don't, right? You can pivot really fast. You can swim in any direction you want. What do you think an F-45 owner is doing right as this is happening? They're sitting around waiting for corporate to tell them what to do, right? And it's just a huge opportunity for you to make Goliath play on your battlefield, and you're David, right? Like, you don't want to fight them on their terms, you want to fight them on your terms, and right now it's your terms. So
yeah, you're right. And the truth is the gyms that are being successful converting all of their members and actually adding new members are the ones that are proactive, not reactive. And if you are proactively communicating your message and how you will support your clients, you are going to have a much better position than trying to scramble after you are shut down.
exactly. Yeah. Like so going back to this David and Goliath type analogy, and this is kind of the direction we've been going for the last year, trying to get this information out, is the advantage you have in this market is your community, right? The Orange Theories can't build the same community you can. They don't have the same front people and the same coaches who care as much as their clients as you do. And that's really where you win. And now more than ever, your community is your asset, because this is like, do you think people are going to stick around in Orange Theory Fitness and pay them for not being able to go to the gym for long? Not really, but you can actually really develop your community into it being the asset it is and stay afloat in this time from it.
Absolutely. And again, it's going back to being able to pivot and how to provide that community support, how to provide individual attention. I mean, people are out of their routines 1,000%. They need guidance. They need support. They need help finding a new normal, and you have the opportunity to do it. You just have to take action.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so much resources out there. If you feel a little lost, there's so many people out there trying to help you. You just need to tune in to kind of where they are.
For sure. So Dan, you've had a lot of people on the podcast. Let's talk about, some of the ones, and I'll link them in the show notes, some of the links to the recordings, but give me two examples of two things that gyms could do to help with the community, help pivot. What are, of all the podcasts that you've listened to, what are done? What are two things?
In fitness, all predates Corona. There's 3 models that I think gym owners should pay attention to, because it will diversify your revenue streams. And in my world, the SaaS world, software world, it's called this. It's called done, or you do it yourself, done with you, and done for you. Those are the 3 buckets of services you can offer. Mm-hmm. And I think gym owners should really dial into these 3 buckets right now. Yep. So do it yourself, I think, is one that a lot of people are missing at this moment. And that's basically like create a free workout that maybe happens once a day, that isn't live, that is for your community to gather around, and not your gym community, like your entire community at large. So your whole city, your whole neighborhood. And then put that out like once, like wake up with Dan, right? Like let's burn some calories before we have breakfast, and wake up with Dan every morning, right? And it's just be a pre-recorded workout. It's a 10-minute body weight, simple workout. That's you do it yourself, right? That's a you do it yourself model. That's going to be your lead gen or your exposure and goodwill in your community. Done with you is what in the typical gym scenario is your typical class, right? So that's going to be your Zoom classes and your group classes for your members. You're going to do it with them. You're going to coach one-to-many people through, and that's going to keep the continuity of your community and your business intact. And the last one, done for you in the software world, is one-on-one private training in our world, or one-on-one personal nutrition coaching, or personalized attention, right? And these are going to be your high-value clients who put a lot of value in things. And I think you need to have all 3 in this environment, because that big middle is going to keep everything together, but the done for you is going to really strengthen connections between your coaches or yourself and your clients, deliver way more value. You might be able to even charge them more for very personalized attention while they're stuck at home. Like, people are craving personal attention at this point, right? So it's good to have. But then all the way on the other end of the spectrum, the do it yourself, you want to have that too. And I think that's the one people are kind of overlooking right now.
Yeah, we're pushing out a ton of free content. I mean, what are not only home workouts, I think a lot of people are pushing out home workouts, but recipes. Like, people are looking for things to do with their kids, like exercises, that a family workout, lots of things that you can spin, because parents are looking for stuff to do with their kids. So you absolutely put free content out. And, with your membership, I would highly recommend, even though they signed up for group classes, if you're offering a couple group classes a week, you should be putting some individualized attention to that community. I know that it has saved our members from canceling. We've actually gained people from this, and it's because we've personally called every single person on our membership list and told them how we were going to be able to provide them individualized support. And if you're only offering group classes and your members aren't latching onto those group classes, they're not going to want to continue to pay a membership.
Right.
So I think there's two facets, right? And then of course, upgrade. If people want personal training or they want customized nutrition support, that's where you have a whole nother service that you can provide people to help them stay accountable and find a new normal, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. You actually brought up a really good point that, like we're starting to try and get our gyms to do. And that's so you basically want to triage. So get your existing members settled and understanding what's going on and happy with what's going on. But if you don't offer a kids program, like this is a huge opportunity because if you're a parent at home and you have two kids running around all day and you're trying to work, like a 1 hour break for a group class that can be streamed off of a TV or something and get the kids in front of it and get them healthy, would be huge opportunity.
We actually launched virtual PE yesterday. We already have people signed up for it. And people that are not members of our community, I think this is a huge opportunity. You're right, because parents are struggling trying to balance kids at home, working from home, having that little break to get their kids active and burning off some steam is a really, really great idea. I love that.
Yeah, that's totally one that people should be looking into.
So we actually just switched to push press, and I can tell you that your customer service at push press, and I'm not even the one that's actually working with you guys. Jason, my husband who runs the gym, is the one that's in contact, I think, with Barry. Thank you, Barry. Almost every day. Your customer service is above and beyond, and probably even more now. You guys have stepped up your game to help gym owners, but I think that's a big piece of the puzzle with CrossFit gyms is we have to remember we're in the relationship business and have to go above and beyond to help and support our community when they need it the most.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, everything that I've kind of learned running a software business almost 100% applies to gyms. And one of the biggest opportunities I saw in software was people think the software is the product. And it's not, right? Well, it's half the product, right? The other half is the relationship and how well you support the people using this product. So the gym is exactly the same. Like every gym owner out there in the back of your mind, like, yeah, your workouts might be the best in the area, or so you think, or whatever. Like every gym owner thinks that, but really what people come back for is the relationships they build in your gym. And if you foster that and you really focus on that, that's more important, honestly, than or as important as the fitness that people are getting.
1,000%. I mean, you're building brand advocates that know, like, love, and trust you when you provide that amazing customer service. Talk to me about how you led your team and how that all works on the back end. Because, I mean, you guys seriously do an amazing job. So shout out to your entire team. But that is your competitive advantage.
Yeah. So, I mean, really our competitive advantage roots back to the fact that we own gyms. And owning a gym, like I know what it's like to be on the gym floor and somebody trying to sign up and then another client asking me, where the jump ropes are, and then me trying to, work some software system and not understand it and everything falling apart, right? So from that experience, we've not only built the software around like it needs to work fast, it needs to be like intuitive, like we've kind of baked all that into the software as much as we could, but it's again to the support. Like if somebody's asking a question, they could have a client who's trying to pay them in front of them and trying to start a class at the same time, and waiting 4 hours is not okay because the client's gone and everything's, like it's just not okay. So we've put a pretty big mandate on our team that like customer service is my vision is our customer service people are rock stars just as much as engineers are rock stars in the software world. Like those are our rock stars. So we put them on a pedestal. They're really proud of what they do. We only hire gym owners, and it's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah, they've obviously done an amazing job. You guys have been helping gym owners. Talk to me about kind of the support you guys are doing. I know you launched that free platform for Push Press a couple months ago. When did that launch?
Black Friday, we launched it. We've been slowly rolling it out to gyms that we saw needed it before that, but we actually officially launched it on Black Friday, last year.
What does that mean?
Free?
What is it? How would it help a gym? Who would apply for the free version?
Yeah. So I like speaking about philosophy because I think philosophy kind of matters the most in these things. And basically, it's like we like looking at markets and trying to understand where everyone's going and think and ask why, right? And if it doesn't make sense, we like going the other way, right? So what we saw was all of our competition was raising rates. Their processing fees were getting more expensive, or they were kind of locking people in on their terms. And we were asking why. And the bottom line to the why is I just feel like there was a push for profitability or increased revenue from the people that own these companies, which is fine. It's fine for them to do, but we didn't really see a compelling reason for us to go that direction. We want to go the other direction. What we saw was a bunch of gym owners who were kind of struggling financially. We saw people who were like living month to month on their revenue, who needed some help. And that's why we have this two-pronged approach of helping them financially with the free product and helping them business-wise and systematically with like our podcast and our content that we're putting out and all these things that we're doing. So the idea is between those two things, we can stand up these gyms who need a little bit of help push them through the doors to success and get them kind of on their path.
That's amazing. Thank you. I think, people open up gyms because they have a passion for helping people, not because they're business people. So, you're essentially thrown into getting a master's in business when you open up this gym. And a lot of times it takes gym owners too long to figure out they need some help. And then they find themselves, I've talked to gym owners during free calls that they've been open in business for 7 years and still are not breaking even.
Yeah. Yeah. It's again, that's the biggest risk in our entire industry is the people that get into this are passionate about fitness, like you said, and they're not really business owners, but they're competing against companies like, let's go back to Orange Theory Fitness. These are business people who honestly, like, I don't know if they really care about fitness as much as they care about making money, right? That's their direction. So we're coming from our folks are coming from the exact opposite angle as the other folks. And that's where this battle's being fought. And, I think my position is if you take someone who's really passionate about what they do and you teach them how to compete with an F45 or an Orange Theory on the business end, our guys win every day. Right?
Absolutely. Because we have that competitive advantage that you were talking about earlier, which is going to help save these gyms through this coronavirus crisis. When you're closed down, you have the community of people that are rallying behind you. You control how much support you're giving them and what you're going and doing above and beyond.
Yep. Yeah. So in my opinion, as long as we can train a whole army of gym owners to become pretty savvy at business or get them the revenue to afford to hire people who are savvy at things that they need help with, we can we can definitely carve out a niche in this fitness industry, a pretty big one, and put a lot of pressure on these big giants that are trying to come in against us.
And I think a lot of it too is you have to listen to the ideas of what's working and what's not, and not reinvent the wheel, right? Like there are so many different ideas out there. It's great, but you need to look at the market and what is working. And, I'm going to take an idea from you and we can talk about it. You posted something last Friday. Was it last Friday or last Thursday? And I don't know if you know what I'm going to bring up right now, but it was a graphic that said happy hour or no. Or happy hour, quarantined or no. And I think it was honestly funny. Like I got a chuckle out of it. And I'm sure you had a bunch of people join on this happy hour because people want community. They want it more now than ever. Gyms, if you're not doing some type of virtual community through Zoom, you're missing the boat. Like classes are great, but people are really looking to just talk to each other and connect because they're in front of their kids all day or in front of a computer screen all day now and not in an office chatting with each other.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually, I was on one of those happy hours with a group of friends that I've had since college. They organized one too last night. And I was joking to my wife and I'm like, we're probably going to be at a happy hour every night now because of this stupid coronavirus, because every group that we're kind of associated with is going to have a happy hour on a different night of the week. And I'm going to be going to 6 happy hours a week now. Whereas before coronavirus, I didn't go to one,
Yeah. But I think we need it now more than ever because we want to connect with people. We just want to talk and have some normalcy, right? So we did happy hour after our 5:30 class, and it got people joining the 5:30 class because we said stay after. And I think that's kind of what you did too, right? Like you did a workout and then said stay after. Is that?
No, for the push press one, we did another podcast or live webinar, and then we did the the thing about 30 minutes after or something like that.
So for gym owners listening, this is a really great idea. I'm not promoting drinking. Like, grab a water, grab a Fit-Aid if you don't want to grab a beer. It doesn't really matter. The goal of this is just to get your community chatting with each other. And by using Zoom, people can see with a camera, talk, and, share stories and chit chat, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to your community. Like, you want these people having connections with each other and caring about each other in this time. And, the more friendships they have amongst your community, that is an asset, literally an asset of yours.
Because they want to continue that, right?
Yeah.
I will tell you, so I was doing a webinar the other day and someone had mentioned coffee on that. And I was like, why don't we just do coffee before the 9 a.m. class? So we started doing it on Monday or Tuesday. I just sent out a text, and I'll put a link below to the text that we sent out. But every day, the coffee time has gotten busier and busier. People are driving to work or driving to an office or at home and having coffee with us and just chit-chatting. And again, like, you just have to get creative, right? Like, get creative to get your community together. Maybe they don't want to join Zoom classes, but they'll do workouts on their own, but they can still come in and chat with each other.
Yeah. One thing about that, because that's something Barry started doing on our end too. He just started doing it. Like, who wants to have coffee with me? And people are joining him for coffee in the morning. We didn't even know he was going to do it, but that made me realize, like, this is a moment for every gym out there to turn your coaches, if they're, if you're still working with them, into influencer hubs / celebrities in your local market. Like at Push Press, I'm asking everyone on our team, like, if you're up for it, build your own show, get out there and talk to people, like, do webinars, like, you can be a face too, and work and build your own brand, and become your own knowledge center. And I think that would be important for coaches to do in local gyms too. Like, you can have nutrition with Jenny in the mornings, and coffee with so-and-so, and, happy hour with so-and-so. You can come up with, every coach does one or two things a week, and then they start to build their own followings, right? Which would the community needs. It needs it right now.
I think you're bringing up an important point that I've gotten asked. I'm sure you've gotten asked a ton of times. I've seen it in the affiliate owner group that you guys started, but paying coaches and what are the coaches' responsibilities right now. And, I can say what we did, but you're bringing up an important piece of the puzzle. Like, you want your coaches to be involved, and you still, if you have full-time people, you're still paying salaries. How can you change around their job description a little bit so that they can adapt, still provide a ton of value to the public community and your actual members, so that, you're not feeling all of the burden as a gym owner to do everything yourself, right?
Yeah. There's this local gym to me. The owner name is Garrick, and he runs a gym right around here. And he's been doing something that I haven't been able to put my finger on until just right now that you mentioned that I think is really great. It seems like I watch his stuff, and it seems like what he's doing is he's running virtual classes, but it's not always him coaching it. I think he'll coach it verbally, but he's got his coaches in there doing the workout and doing the movement instruction and doing all that stuff. So it's kind of like, as a client, you see that there's still a core coaching staff there. They're still working together. They're still having fun. There's still stuff, and they do it in the gym. So you're watching them do all the instruction from inside the gym. And I think, like, I hadn't been able to put my finger on that till now. Like, what's cool about that is you're seeing, like, these coaches still come into the gym. They still do all the movement instruction and all the workout, and then they work out with the people while Garrick's vocally encouraging people from off camera, right? So it's pretty cool.
I actually was going back and forth with an affiliate owner running our program yesterday, and he said, my coaches haven't jumped on board with virtual classes yet. And I think as a gym owner, you need to express the importance that your coaches are jumping in. And we actually had that struggle a little bit too. The first couple of days last week, we didn't see our coaches in there as much as we would have liked. So I just asked them, like, hey, it's really important that our community sees you now more than ever. Please jump into the classes. If you're having a coach a class, as an owner, you should be in the class. Like, I've taken more classes since we've gone virtual. Like, there's no excuse. I can jump on a Zoom link for 45 minutes and take a class, and people can see my face. I think, your community needs to see your face now more than ever, whether you coach or not. Like, get people involved. And what you were saying with having coaches, do the Zoom instructions, I think is really great. what's your philosophy on this? Gym owners or coaches working out in the gym when the gym is closed?
I
And
think if it's part of like what Garrick's doing, it's okay. I don't know about like them just coming in and doing their workouts because they're a privileged class or something. That's
yeah,
I wouldn't put that out there to the world that that's happening if you're
I
doing that.
I could not agree more. So think about that, gym owners. If you're doing workouts at your gym that are not part of the coach classes, please don't post it. We have not. We have not done any workouts at our gym beyond my husband and our head coach Luan coaching the classes, and we're doing what you were mentioning, Garrett doing, and I'm jumping from home. So, I think gym owners leading the tribe, being a part of those virtual classes and rallying people. So one of the things we did, and I preached about this yesterday, I'm sure you're preaching the same thing. Like, you have to get on the phone and call your members. Like, you should have some personal touch with every single person in your community so that they know how you're going to support them. And it actually brings more people to join in the classes. So we did it last week. And then sure enough, the next day we had 2 more people that said they were going to start doing the morning classes, jump on Zoom. Like, people just need to know that you care about them, and they need some guidance because virtual is interesting. They need to, a lot of people have never used Zoom before. So just getting them to try it once and being a part of the class once will get them coming back.
Yeah. It's funny, since I sold my gym in 2019 and I really focused on the push press end of things, but I've learned so many things doing the software business that if and when I open a gym again, I'm going to do it so much differently. And I think there's so many big things I could talk about in that light. 2 things that you mentioned or you brought up that I want to address is, one, if your coaches like aren't okay doing what you need them to do at this time, let them go.
Yep.
Like you don't have to, like, when I ran my gym, I was kind of like, well, he doesn't want to do this. And no, it's like your gym and you need to set the rules, and you're going to pay them to do what you need them to do for the gym. And if they're like, I don't want to be on camera, you'd be like, cool, then I'll find the coach who is, like you just got to run your business that way. Damn, I forgot the second thing. You just said something.
Well, while you are thinking about that,
yeah.
I think it's important, before you let them go, clearly define like what are the expectations.
Right.
So
okay.
We didn't do that. Like, say how important it was to us that they jumped on coffee time or jumped on a workout a day, or at least popped in and said hi if they weren't able to actually do the workout. Like, pop in and say hi. I just did a podcast interview with one of our nutrition coaches, and she said, even if I can't jump in the morning class, I'm jumping in and asking people how they're eating. And now you can have a nutrition conversation with people at any point that would not have normally seen your nutrition coach, right?
Yeah. Let me walk back what I just said, because you have to have a precedent. You have to have a rules and philosophies in place before you just let people go. You can't expect them just to, jump on board your snap decision today. But yeah, so like if I were to start this all over again, I would tell the coaches on day one, like, this is what's expected of you. This is what your roles are. You have to have all that in place before you start talking about letting them go for not doing what you want, because you has to be consistent. The second thing that you brought up that is huge for gym owners that I want you guys to understand and think through is a lot of, like, everyone avoids sales. And I know probably there's half the people out there, when Nicole said, hey, just reach out to all your members and talk to them, blah, blah, go cringe because they feel like they're intruding on someone's life or whatever. You have to understand you're not. Like, people want your service. They want to talk to you. And all you have to do a lot of times is ask. Like, if you reached out to somebody and say, like, hey, will you come to the 5 o'clock class and work out with me? You'll probably get a 70% increase in attendance just from asking. So you can't be afraid to ask,
Absolutely. And it takes time. It definitely takes time, but your members need to hear you and talk to you, and they need you now more than ever.
Or your coaches, right?
Oh,
so
gosh,
again, as you're building into a more scalable situation, like if and when you do grow and you have 500 members across 3 gyms, you can't talk to them all, but that's why you need to build your coaches as community pillars too. That's why they're so important. And, you get them reaching out and creating that connection and making that ask too.
100%. And, I have to say, like, we did the initial calls, which coaches could definitely do those too, but then we dispersed them. So now coaches are managing their own client list, reaching out to them. So we're not having to follow up with every single person at this point. Like, they have a coach that they're assigned to keep track of them and make sure that they're doing what they say they're going to do and they're committing to, right? So 1,000% get your coaches involved. And this is a creative way to, still pay your coaches, provide even more value to your clients, and build brand advocates.
Yep. Yeah. And if you even want to go crazy with it, you can figure out a coach compensation model that kind of pegs them to the people that they're assigned to. So if every month they retain those people, they get a part of that recurring revenue.
I didn't think about the way we set it up. We didn't say it like that, but essentially we did, because they're getting paid per hour to manage 4 clients per hour. And if they don't keep those people, they're not going to have as many clients to manage per hour, right?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, at the end of the day, you're there. Your job is to support and lead your community to stay healthy, and you just have to get creative with the ways that you're doing it. And going back to sales, this is a really awesome opportunity for you to open your doors to other people that might not have necessarily gone into a CrossFit gym. Like, you're doing home workouts that are body weight most of the time, right? Like, anyone can scale that and get off their couch and do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And people are going to be looking for it. So, I was actually just in a webinar with Patrick Campbell yesterday, and my mentor Dan Martell. Patrick Campbell is basically like the recurring software revenue god. He runs a business called ProfitWell that listens in on everyone's payments, so he knows the trends. And he was saying right now, like, there are people looking to buy things. You just have to kind of change your message, right? Mm-hmm. And in the fitness world, I haven't gotten my mind wrapped around exactly what that message is yet, because in the software world, the message is not will make you more money now. The message is will save you money, right? That's the message you need to have. And I think in the fitness world, it's not like we're going to get you fitter. It's probably going to be something along the lines of like, we're going to keep you sane, right? Or we're going to connect you with some people for an hour. It's more the recess. This is your break of your day angle.
I think it's the support to find a new normal. Like that's the message that we're putting out. I actually changed our entire website 2 days ago and took off every single page related to CrossFit. And every page related to, really, there's only 3 pages on our website now. Virtual PE, our main page, which talks about virtual classes. And we'll add on the other pages back in our recipe page, but we'll add that other stuff back eventually when we reopen. It's just, you want to make sure that you are saying a message that's relevant, right? Facebook ads, I've heard so much talk about, do I cancel ads? Do I change ads? I mean, you definitely need to change the wording. Like, people aren't coming in for a free intro, book a free call, right? Like, change your wording, but you still should be advertising. People are looking for help now more than ever. And if you're providing that free help, going back to the here's free help bucket, your first bucket, build brand advocates, make videos. People need to see your face and like relate to you. And it's so much easier to build a relationship with someone through a video than just words.
Yeah. I mean, let me tell you this. In December of last year, I had never even gone on a microphone or done a podcast. Fast forward to now, like in the last week, I've been on the video more times than I've probably been in my life. And it's just something out of necessity that had to happen, because we have to get this information out fast, and it needs to be personable. And the written word is not the medium right now. It's video and maybe audio. So if you're out there and you're kind of gun shy about being on a camera, just start doing it and you'll become comfortable with it. I was so uncomfortable being on a microphone and being in front of a camera 3 months ago. So it'll change fast.
For sure. And, write out bullet points. If you're like doing the first video ever, what I used to do is write out bullet points of what I wanted to say and put it right in front of the camera. So when I'm looking at the camera, I could look down really quickly between each bullet point and know that it doesn't have to be perfect. I think people are giving you so much more grace now, and they're understanding that, hey, this is new for all of us, and they just want to hear your voice. They just want to like have some help that's easy and actionable. Like, now is not the time to talk about philosophy. Now is the time to say, like, here is a recipe that has 3 ingredients that you can't screw up. To go make it, right? Like, give people content that's relevant to them right now.
Yep. That's the best hack for being on camera that I never used. And now I've kind of gotten comfortable to the point I don't have to. Well, I probably should, because there's still stuff I forget. But you just put a Post-it note right next to your camera. Like if you're on a laptop, right next to that little camera in the middle of your screen, just put a Post-it note right there. And so you're looking directly at the camera, but you can read it. It's like a poor man's teleprompter, I guess.
Yep, that's definitely what I've done before. And I still do it sometimes if there's like 5 tips and I don't want to forget the number 4. I'm like, I just write them out real quick, just like 1 or 2 lines to remind me of what that tip was. And then, you continue with your video. I don't think if you're going for perfection right now, it's going to take you way too long and you don't have that time. Like, just progress over perfection. No video 100 is going to be 1,000 times better than video 1, but video 1 needs to happen for video 100 to be great.
Yeah. And then you can look back at video 1 and laugh at it later.
Oh, yes, definitely. Dan, you're such a plethora of knowledge. I think the CrossFit community is better having you in it and helping support gym owners. It's just really clear that you have such a help first mentality. Any final words for gym owners as they're going through this kind of crisis of changing to virtual and, trying to help their community?
Well, thank you. Before I go into the final words, I want to make it clear, like, I'm just kind of the guy on the camera right now, but the team behind me, like, I'm just kind of a summation of all of the ideas and thoughts of all the team behind me. For those of you guys who know who they are, for those of you who don't, that's just the reality of it. The team behind me is what puts me here. As far as for the comment for gym owners, it's basically just survive. Now more than ever, you need to be nimble and be strong. You have to have a ton of fortitude. Like, it's going to be choppy waters coming in. But you've got to do everything you can to survive. One thing my business mentor brought up to me yesterday that I thought was a really good topic or a good concept to frame your mind around is you definitely want to cut all the fat right now. You don't want to cut any of your muscle, right? So you want to trim everything that's non-essential to your business or make sure it becomes essential if you're going to be spending money or time on it. But you don't want to cut out things that actually can actively bring you new business. You don't want to cut out things that will hamstring you in the future. So a lot of us in this moment are going to be quick to cutting things. And if you cut the wrong things, it actually could be a net negative for your business. So you have to pay attention to exactly what you're cutting. But you should be actively looking to cut stuff out right now.
I think that's an important, fact. And that's actually something we did at our HQ location. I went through all of our reoccurring bills and paused the Fit Aid subscription. Like, we're not needing another subscription of Fit Aid to come to our gym when no one's buying Fit Aid. I mean, there's definitely things that you're paying for. Make sure the AC is turned off so you're not paying for that when your gym is closed. I mean, there's definitely things for sure. I would say we're still getting people to sign up for mentoring because they're using it as a retention strategy to manage all of their clients, provide nutrition coaching to retain them instead of people pausing memberships, right?
Yeah, so that's a cut the muscle thing. So if you're out there like, oh, I'm going to cut Healthy Steps Nutrition, where right now that actually could be a net positive for you to spend the money on that system and process in order to open that door for your business. So just make sure you're paying attention to what you're cutting. If you guys need any advice, like Nicole's out there, Chris Cooper's out there. There's so many people out there who are going to bat and trying to help gym owners. Everyone on my team is I've given them free reign to spend as much time as they need with anyone who needs help. So we have a Facebook group, which I'm going to plug if that's okay.
Yes, please do.
The Gym Survival Guide, we called it. I'll plug Chris's too, another great one. That's Gym Owners United. Like, these are two groups that are just straight up dedicated to helping you get through this problem right now. Join them and start paying attention to or asking questions. Oh, can I plug another thing that we're working on?
Yeah, for sure.
It's probably going to be launched by the time this goes up. We're popping up a toll-free helpline. It's 833 Gym Wins.
833 Gym Wins.
Yeah, Gym Wins. Basically what we found is a lot of gym owners in the privacy of a conversation will ask us questions that I think they're afraid to ask in the open social media circles for fear of shame, for fear of looking dumb. I don't know, for fear of whatever. So we're going to open up a hotline, kind of like those call-in lines in the morning shows where you can leave your question on a voicemail, and then we're going to do a whole show on just answering those questions.
That is a really cool idea.
Yeah, it can be anonymous, or it can be you can leave your name with it. We're probably gonna have a fork in there, so you can either share a win that you did or ask a question. So it'll be either or. So again, 833 Gym Wins. I think that toll free number will be available in the next day or two, and then we're gonna get rolling with that.
That is awesome. You're right. I think there's so much free help out there, but instead of sitting on social media all day reading that stuff, the real goal here is to take action. Like, the gyms that are proactive are fine. Like, retaining their members, providing support, clearly leading the way with their community. But you can't just sit on social media and read all this stuff. You have to actually take action so that your members and your community know that you're there to help and they know how you are going to help them.
Yep. And there's, like I said, there's gonna be plenty of help out there if you're looking for it. Can I plug one more thing since I'm on here? I'm just
plug all the things.
I don't like plugging stuff when I go on podcasts, but this is like, this is like help. I'm trying to help. So Push Press does have that free platform, like we talked about before, but what our websites team is working on right now, it's actually what made me delay this podcast by half an hour because I was helping them. we're building a free website product. So if you can join our free platform and get a free website too. So the idea is to, just really help people who get through all this stuff. So,
awesome. Well, I think you guys are doing amazing things to help gym owners. I hope this helps at least a dozen gym owners, take some action and have a clear path of what they should be doing. My first action step to you would be get on the phone and call all of your members. If it's not you, it's a coach, so that people know how you're going to help them. Create a plan and then actively communicate that plan and over communicate it, because people need to hear things like 10 times to take action. They're bombarded with their email right now. We're using SMS text messages to communicate with our members and, through the HSN app, but you want to make sure that your communication is getting out to your community so that they understand how you're going to help them virtually now.
Yep. Help first, be on the front lines with them, do your workouts at your home with, film yourself doing it at home or at the park, just like they're doing, whatever. Just be there for them in every way you can.
Absolutely.
Overextend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dan, thank you so much for all of your insight. It was a pleasure having you on the podcast, and thank you for all that you guys are doing at Push Press.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Well, there you had it. Dan said it first. We have to be nimble and be strong. As CrossFit affiliate owners, we define our destiny. We define how we're going to react to this situation, and you have an opportunity to be proactive and really lead your community, your members, to stay healthy during this crazy time. There are so many different companies out there pushing free content, which is absolutely amazing. We're pumping out free tips, daily videos, Facebook Lives, webinars, you name it, we've done it. My recommendation is that you make sure you aren't spending all your time reading on social media or in your email, and actually take action. If you are looking for a clear plan, head over to growyournutritionbusiness.com and check out our free help page. There are templates in there for running a Zoom meeting. There's a Zoom crash course. There's templates for member management and how to run individual meetings. There are also 2 free webinar recordings about transitioning to virtual and about adding nutrition coaching. As a gym owner, it is your responsibility to take this obstacle and turn it into an opportunity to lead your community and empower them to stay healthy. Hope you stay healthy.